Hello folks, and welcome to another video. So yeah, I guess I got a chance to make videos now, so time, so I will get the videos done, get them edited. Come on, I'm trying to get my tablet. There it goes. Get my water. Let's see here. Come on. Yeah, so today I'll be smoking another Drew Estate Java Maduro, and I guess I'll raise it up so I can see it. And yes, this is a Churchill, and it is a strong cigar, but it's a really nice smelling, and just to pre-sniff before lighting. Of course, I'm down to my last 3 stick, about a box of 20. And again, if you have flavored cigars, definitely put them in a masonry jar. I recommend masonry jar, and flip it over. There we go. There we go. Nice smooth draw, and in my opinion, the masonry jars are really nice at keeping. As long as you have a those Boveda packages. I have like 2 that's in the masonry jar where I keep my my Java Red and Java Maduro. And it only takes 2 of the small packs to keep the humidity proper, around 65-ish. And again, in my opinion, the masonry jars do keep airtight, so you don't lose any of the flavors of your flavored cigars. I definitely wouldn't mix the flavors. What are you doing, dog? I definitely wouldn't mix the flavors. But again, mason jars aren't that expensive. So if you got like some Cuban honeys, put them in their own masonry jars. And you can even put regular cigars, because you can and of course with masonry jars you can wash them out. So if you are done with a flavored cigar and you want to put a regular cigar in there, you can wash it out, let it dry, and then you're good to put something else in there. Now they do sell those large, like quart size, not quart, but pint size, or quarts, not quart, 1 pint, yeah, pint size, up to a gallon size masonry jars. But of course, be prepared to pay anywhere from $50 to $100 for those. And of course, if you have it mailed to you, there's a good chance it's probably going to it's going to arrive broken. So if you have a chance to purchase it in the store, definitely purchase it in the store. So if you're like, hey, you know what, I want to try putting my cigars in a big, because I thought about that and I was like, yeah, you know what, man, my humidors, my humidors are good enough. If you close your humidor and you hear that swoosh noise, that means your humidor is pretty airtight. It's probably not going to be as tight as a masonry jar, but the swish noise means that it's airtight enough, so that of course the humidity outside doesn't affect the humidity in your cigar, but it still does. Like right now, with all this rain we're getting, it's humid outside, it's humid in the house. I notice the humidities in my cigar. Humidors have gone up a few notches, and not a whole lot, but it's higher than what I would like it. So, okay, so enough of the cigar talk, I guess. So this Kyle kid, he has the attorneys who are volunteering their services, and these aren't your scrub attorneys. These guys have been around the block. and they know the law. And of course, GoFundMe took down his GoFundMe. They, you know, when this is all said and done, not only should he go after the MSN, you know, CNN, MSNBC, called was NPR, which is basically PBS's version of news. It was called News Time. Back in the day, it was called a News Hour with so and so, you know, NPR. And you know, and they should go after GoFundMe also, because the kid hasn't been convicted. And when this all happened, the police didn't want to arrest the kid. It was their superiors who told them to arrest the kid. And of course, you know, most police officers being law-abiding, I guess, and following the rules and stuff. So I guess if the higher-ups order them to do it, of course, if the higher-ups order them to go and, you know, do a a massacre, I don't think of the word. I think some officers would do it, but most would probably say, no, I'm not just going to go and you know, mow down a bunch of innocent people. Well, in the case of these rioters, they're not innocent. You know, as it turns out, the guy that survived had his I don't know if they had to amputate his arm, but he had the lower part of his right arm, because if you watch the video with the kid shot, he turned. I guess in turning, instead of getting shot in the midsection, he got shot in the right arm. And now 223s will tear you up pretty good. And they're saying the guy, you know, had his the lower part of his arm shot off, and you know, I don't know if they're saying it's a miracle the guy didn't bleed to death. So out of those 3 thugs that got involved with the kid, one of them, the bald-headed guy, the guy that first attacked him and took the dirt nap, or concrete nap in this case, that guy has a felony for beating basically the guy's a wife beater. And the other dead guy, either the skateboard guy or the guy that got shot in the arm, is a pedo. Yeah, so one of the so basically Antifa has a pedo and sexual abuser problem. So one of their leader, I guess, was arrested for pedophilia. Things the guy were in Portland, and of course the Wisconsin supposed I guess Antifa leaders just got arrested. You know, guy. Well, they call him the Commander Red. Yes, these idiots are pretty much communists. You know, communist supporters. And in the news, they're saying, well, you know, when the police officers came to arrest him, the guy fell out crying, you know, curled up into a fetal position while they dragged him away. And yeah, and the guy doesn't look any older than, you know, 17 himself. But the guy's, I guess, 23. And yeah, and a 23-year-old, some 23-year-olds could pass for 17. Yeah, so the feds arrested the Wisconsin, I guess, leader of Antifa. You know, and I watched the video by Pops, Terrence Pops, and I believe he's still on YouTube. I watch his videos on BitChute. I don't watch him on YouTube anymore. And he makes a good point. So basically, this is a insurrection. I call it a terrorist insurrection. Because one, these guys are coordinated. They got different branches around the U.S. They are well funded, both Antifa and Black Lives Matter. You know, they got branches all over the U.S. You know, they're well coordinated and well funded, and supposedly the feds I guess, stopped a Chinese boat that was full of guns, full of fake IDs. So the question is, the one boat that they stop, that normally means that 10 other boat has gotten through. So for for one boat that you stop, 10 got through. So the question is, which one of these is are these weapons, and I'm assuming the weapons that the Chinese are sending is more than just AKs, but I'm pretty sure the bulk of it is AKs. We're talking actual machine guns, grenades, um, rocket launchers, RPGs, and of course, being that Portland is in the West Coast, I guarantee you a lot of those weapons that got past the feds is probably in the hands of Antifa members, a group that's in the West Coast, and if from Washington, to Oregon down to California, and then slowly, those weapons are going to make their way to the interior. And of course, that's going to be up to the feds and local governments to. Of course, we're talking West Coast here. Those guys are communists. The local governments there aren't going to do anything about it. It's going to be when the weapons try to make its way into the interior of the U.S. All the way to the East Coast, and who knows, it may have made it all the way to the East Coast already. Now the thing is, of course, these guys got the weapons. The question is, who's training them? Because technically, yes, you can pick up an AK, and it's very easy. You don't even have to teach someone how to load an AK mag. Back in the days there were clips. And clips, of course, these metal clips that you loaded the bullets into, and then you pushed them into the actual magazine well. I think SKS had those, the older AKs. Well, some of them, because I think the older AKs had detachable magazines too. And I didn't know this, that the Chinese AKs are illegal in the U.S. because I guess they can easily be converted to like full auto just by shaving some parts down. That's what I read up on. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. But I'm pretty sure that these AKs that are coming into the U.S., that's probably ending up in the hands of Antifa, and Black Lives Matter, are probably the full auto AKs. It's probably the one, and of course, if it's Chinese made, then hey, it may not work. It may blow up in their face, and hopefully it does. So yeah, it doesn't take much for someone to pick up an AK and look and see where, how to load the magazine, how to rack the slide, pull the trigger, and it goes bang. The question is how to properly shoot and accurately shoot. But if all you need is some knucklehead, to spray lead down, to spray lead, then you don't even need to teach them how to properly shoot. So many of these knuckleheads are probably just being given, hey, here's an AK, here's some AK mags, and here's some bullets. Just lay low when we call you. Because it is beginning. The Kyle kid, the guy in Portland. These are just small, very, very, very small scale, shooting incidents, between citizens and these terrorist groups. And supposedly the feds are cracking down on these Antifa and Black Lives Matter members. Supposedly there's going to be something like between 1,000 to 2,000 arrest warrants, federal arrest warrants. That's going to be going out. the question is, of course, are they going to be able to serve these warrants in Seattle, Portland, anywhere in California, with the government's protecting these people? This is it is a mild cigar, but this one is nice, smooth draw, easy puffing, very enjoyable smoke. If I had a choice, I would rather have a cigar that was I guess too easy of a draw, to one that's a very hard draw, because yes, it's a cigar that's like really easy draw normally indicates a very dry cigar, and you can tell sometimes there'll be cracking in there. The cigar will burn really fast, which this one is not, and I've been puffing it a lot. Yeah, so hopefully the kid, of course, he's being denied bail because he's still sitting in jail. Normally in these cases, even for murderers, sometimes they are given bail if the judge deems that they're not going to be more of a danger to society, that they're not a threat for fleeing. But yeah, I don't think this kid's gonna be going home anytime soon. Yes, and again, the MSN, all of them, just like the Nick Sandman kid, they're piling on this kid, calling him a terrorist, calling him a murderer, and things like that. And yeah, and of course, in his case, he needs to worry about the criminal case first. Get that taken care of before he worries about the suing the MSN. And of course, even if and yes, and President Trump, I know I have to give him a thumbs up for not bending to the MSN. And even if this kid is found guilty, Trump could just pretty much give him a pardon, or it's like, hey, look, man, this is injustice, and I'm going to pardon the kid. And of course, they're probably going to draw this out until past, his trial probably won't go. Same thing with the McKnights and those officers over in Minneapolis. I don't think their cases are going to go to trial until after November, because they're going to be like, well, if Trump gets reelected, he'll just pardon all these people. Yes, he could pardon the police officer in Minneapolis, which I don't think he will. But in the case of those guys in Minneapolis, now that we've seen the body cam, they probably won't even get a conviction. Same for the McKnights. They probably won't get a conviction. Yes, now I believe with a now I believe they can't do a silver suit. The family of what's his name? They can't sue the McKnights because they took a. I think part of the. I think part of the deal is that if you take the what's that, I guess the settlement money for well, I don't think that family. Well, never mind. Yeah, I guess in the case of the McKnight, they still could be sued in silver court and probably might lose. And of course, in the case of the police officer in Minneapolis, since the family took the I guess the payout, I think part of that is that you can't go back and sue these police officers in silver court if you take the pay. All right, and of course, Nancy Pelosi. I guess we'll talk about California. And of course, Nancy Pelosi got caught. Salons. A lot of salons are either closed in California, or if you're open, you can only take in one customer at a time. And the thing is that, unlike a men's hair, our haircut's quick, 15, 20 minutes and you're done at the most. You go to a barbershop. And here in Texas, multiple customers can go in as long as you wear a mask. But it seems in California, if the salon decides to open, they have to take one customer at a time. And if any of you have, female relatives, wife's or girlfriend, and if you've ever, no, I've never been. I've always dropped off, but never hung around. But anyway, women's hair takes a long time to freaking do. Yeah, so she supposedly got some sort of Brazilian, it's called Brazilian blowout. It basically makes her hair, I guess, more puffy or thicker. And I'm pretty sure that procedure probably takes at least an hour to do. And I'm pretty sure she probably got her hair dyed too. So she got her hair shampooed, probably got her hair dyed, because she didn't dye her hair. She would be all grayed, being an 80-year-old. And I'm surprised she even has hair at 80. Yeah, that women lose hair too, especially when they get into the 70s and 80s. That's why a lot of grandmas wear a wig. But supposedly that the hair is hers and it's not a wig. So I'm pretty sure she got it shampooed, got it dyed, got that Brazilian blowout. So that probably took an hour, 2 hours to get done. And there's no way you're gonna make money, doing one customer at a time. But in her case, she probably got special, where she called them up and said, "Hey, I'm coming in. Can you guys open? I'll allow you to open up this one time just for me." And somebody leaked the video. I don't know if it's the owner, one of the employees, one of her people, one of her aides. Somebody leaked that video, and yes, and of course, no surprise, made her look like a hypocrite. Yes, and and of course the forest fire in California. Now the 3-inch lizards I was talking about, they're dead. They were burnt up and killed in the last few years, forest fires. So, so it turns out now I knew about their electrical infrastructure, like power lines and power poles, are old. A lot of them go back to the 1920s. The one that fell over and sparked a fire last year was part of that, from the 1920s telephone pole, telephone wire. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of those copper wires are not rated for the number of people for the usage today, because from 1920s till today, California's population has pretty much times 10 what it used to be. And of course the things Pacific Light and Utility, things the company, or basically Pacific Utility is the public utility in California. So I guess the last 2 years, instead of spending, they spent like $2.5 billion on solar on solar panels and on wind turbines, and instead of taking that $2.5 billion and refitting their old from the 1920s telephone poles and lines, they had the company mess with renewable energy basically. And of course, all those people that died last year from that fire, their families are suing the company. So Pacific Electric. Of course, they filed for bankruptcy. They're like, "Oh, screw this," and we're filing for bankruptcy. Now, I don't know if that protects them from civil suit, from all those family members. They had family members who died. So they quickly filed for bankruptcy. And again, as I noted, California is supposedly 100% renewable energy now. They're pounding their chest. As I said, they're pounding their chest while sitting in the dark and paying, and paying $600, $700 for utilities during, during the summer, peak summer when it's hot as hell. Because here in Texas, we go through our months during the summer, our July and August basically don't have any rain, but you don't see any raging forest fire here in Texas. East Texas, East Texas is full of pine trees, and yes, and as you know, pine trees are freaking what's got all that sap in them. Yeah, and I love the smell now, and I love the smell of pine. When you drive through East Texas, you roll down your window, taking the smell of the pine trees, and as a kid, this one house that we're in had some pine trees in the back. Yeah, we didn't live in East Texas; it just happened to be pine trees in the backyard. And I remember the first time I smelled pine wood, I was like, wow, this stuff really smells good. And of course, pine is one of the cheaper woods you can buy for construction and stuff like that. But of course, here in Texas, we do clear cutting. We do clear out underbrush. We do control burns. Our forest department, are allowed to do all of that. So you don't see any raging fire out in East Texas. Now we had them. Well, they weren't raging. I mean, we had every year we do have our small fires that does occur out in East Texas, but they are quickly put under control because you do things like clear cutting, cleaning out the underbrush, doing control burns. Yeah, every year we do have our forest fires too, but it never rages out of control like it does in California. I remember going out one year after the fire and driving through, and forest fires. When you drive through an area that had a forest fire, it smells horrible. It's really. I guess the best I can describe it is a campfire that's just been doused, and you get that. That's about as close as you. That's about as close as you. I guess if you never had the chance to drive through an area that had a forest fire, that would be the closest you can get. It has that similar smell, but it's everywhere. Yeah, so in California, they no longer do clear cutting because of the eco warriors. They no longer clear off the underbrush because the eco warriors. They no longer allow the forest department to do control burns. In my opinion, it's two things. It is the eco warriors, and it's probably they got no money. Now, as for the clear cutting, yeah, you can do clear cutting and sell the wood. But as for cleaning out the underbrushes, doing control burn, that requires money, and you can't make any money off of that. So it's probably two things. One, the eco warriors, and no money. And and I used to feel sorry for those millionaires that had their $1 million houses burnt. That's up in the hills. And I got the realization, like, hey man, it's these assholes that are the ones who are causing the problem. Screw them, let their house burn. They got insurance anyway. Yes, and of course this year's forest fire, the I guess the smoke jumpers, I guess what they call them, or the firefighters, or I guess there's either not enough funding, or the fire's just burning too much and they can't get to all of them. So these millionaires, who's got their multi-million-dollar houses in these up in these forested hills, or buying their own fire trucks. And I'm like, good luck, man. They're buying the fire trucks off of Craigslist. At least the news article that I read. I'm like, good luck, man. Do you even know how to operate a fire truck? I remember one year watching where a guy got his looks like it ash fell off. Where the guy got his water hose, and he's watering down his house, he's watering down his yard, and his house still burnt down. It's like, oh well, dude, at a time, yes, I did feel sorry for you, but now it's like, nah, man, you're part of the problem, and no sympathy from me. Yeah, and of course, the all of this isn't being paid. The eco warriors aren't the one who's got to pay for this. It's us taxpayer. Trump just Trump just allocated, I don't know how many millions or how many billions. He just allocated I guess federal disaster aid to California to combat the raging forest fire. Knowing the fellow California government, the Democrats, they're probably not going to use that money for what it's intended. It's probably going to go straight into their pocket, or it's probably going to go straight into their buddies' pockets. Kind of like again, so I got relatives there, kind of like the stimulus. So, Californians, they're blaming Trump. Oh, we're only getting $300 extra for unemployment. It's all Trump's fault because we're only getting 300. It's like, of course I have to tell them, like, you guys realize, hey, get away, bug. It's like, hey, you guys realize if it wasn't for Trump, you would be getting zero. If you're waiting for your Democrat leaders in Congress to pass a stimulus pack, keep waiting, because they're more worried about trying to pass the mail-in ballot fraud, and they're not worried about no stimulus because supposedly they're back from their summer vacation, and it's been 2 weeks and there's still no talks of any stimulus being passed. They're still talking about needing the $25 billion for the U.S. Postal Service revamp. And I believe the extra 300 is only for 3 weeks. So basically that's about $900 extra that you'll be getting, because I guess Trump's thinking, hey, look, I'll give you guys extra 300 for the next 3 weeks, and of course this is up to each state if they want to participate. And some states are not participating. Some states are. Of course, California is definitely participating, but they haven't. And from what I've read up on, they haven't paid out the extra 300 to anybody on unemployment in California. And in my opinion, I think the government is going to pocket that money. And I told him too, I was like, hey man, how about the extra 300 that the state's supposed to pitch in? I was like, oh, we're not getting that. It's like, yeah, you're not getting it because your state is broke. They're like, yeah, well, it's not our government's fault. It's Trump's fault. Yeah, so California not paying them the extra $100 is Trump's fault also. So at this point, it's really, and of course, I still talk with them, because supposedly, of course, their Governor Newsom, their governor came out, and yet he said, hey, we can't afford to give Californians the extra $100. We just don't have the money, and it's like, well, the pandemic, the federal disaster aid or pandemic money that the government gave them. He said that he used that for coronavirus testing research, as opposed to giving that money to the unemployed people of California. He decided. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he did put this into, COVID-19 testing research. Yeah, and I told him, hey, good luck, man, because supposedly, other states are already paying it out, and California said they're going to pay out the extra 300 that Trump signed, and people that haven't gotten paid yet. And I told him, good luck, man, because I have a feeling Newsom pocketed that too. And kind of like I said, with some Democrats, there is no their Trump derangement syndrome is just too deep. It's like no matter what you tell them, they're not going to believe you, or they're just going to say it's Trump's fault. Even if they're sitting in the dark with no money, it's like, yeah, good luck, guys. I'm sitting in the dark with no money. Or they can go roast marshmallow on the forest fire. All right, well, that's it. Don't have much more to. This is a good cigar. It's a nice. It is a mild cigar, even though it's a Maduro. I would say it's a mild to a strong cigar. It is a Churchill, so it it will got to be prepared for smoking the Java Maduro. And this was the first one. This was the first of the Java line that came out, and it was a huge hit. And and of course everyone is buying them up, so the price kept going up and up. And yeah, one of these, depending on where you buy them, will run you about $10 to $12 per stick, and that's running into the high end of the premium cigars. So if you can get, I guess no, actually higher than that. Let's see here. This is a box of 20. I guess in some places I guess in some places these go as high as 15, 16, 17 bucks a stick. The 10, 11, or 12 bucks, as I mentioned, that's the old price. It's pretty pricey. But if you want to try one, I guess, hey, if you want to spend the 15 bucks, or if you can find it for 10 bucks, I'd probably buy the whole box. But stay safe, don't get sick. Don't go into a riot zone. If it comes to your city and you feel, hey, I gotta go out and defend my city against these these out of town terrorists, because that's what these guys are. Again, they are well coordinated. They got these buses that they bus people in on. Now I've heard about the buses, but I never looked into it. And kind of looked into it. I was like, yeah, they do have specific bus, and the Antifa and Black Lives Matter use, that they bus people into these areas that where these incidents are popping off. So they're busing in their rioters. And if you listen to these people, they're talking about, it's Antifa and Black Lives Matter versus the militia. And I had to reply, you mean the militia as in the if you consider the stores and restaurants, police stations and government offices that are being set on fire as a militia? Because they're not fighting no human militia. They're setting stores, restaurants, and buildings on fire. There is no human militia that they're fighting. So I guess if you consider buildings, inanimate objects like cars and stuff, as a militia, then Yeah, because there ain't no militia that they're fighting. Now, if you consider that one kid as a militia, and yes, and if it goes to court and they can get past, hey, this kid's a militia. He was defending himself, and that's the thing too in Wisconsin, is that they, damn, Junebug, shouldn't you be dead by now? That the yeah, there are a few stipulations where someone under 18 can have a long gun, being a rifle. One is for self-defense, and in the case of Kyle, it's definitely self-defense. The other is like for hunting. The other is like for sporting, like if you go to a gun range or a shooting competition. Get away, bug. So sporting, hunting, and self-defense is where someone under 18 can be in possession of a long rifle. So it looks like he is in good hands with his attorneys, and darn bug, shouldn't this cigar smoke be chasing you bugs away? Okay, again, thanks for watching, and stay safe.